How are you all right?
Good. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. It's nice to meet you all.
Really, good to see you.
Brilliant. Let's start from here. NORMORIA, what does the name mean?
Oh,
It doesn't really mean anything.
Oh, but it's a good name. I thought there must have been a meaning behind it.
well, there's a meaning, but the name doesn't mean anything. Do you want to
Exactly. You go for it. We're talking already.
But it's your thing you came up with. It was kind of like the idea that it's rather than a name of something, it's a place. So it's kind of like where you go when you listen to the music, the place that you go to.
That makes sense. That's good. I like that. That's a good idea. So it's like a fantasy place.
Basically, yeah. For me, the concept came about like thinking that it will be like the place that you go once you listen to our music. That's where it takes you, you know. It's like a portal.
Yeah.
So that's where you end up and you forget about all the bad things in your life and things going around the world, and that's your happy place.
That's brilliant. That's a lovely idea. If people are listening now and they don't know about you, what would you say about NORMORIA, the band?
We are testing each other today.
Yeah, what would we say? That we write a lot of fun, happy, energetic music, but also at the same time sometimes involve kind of our things that we see or experience in the world that maybe isn't so positive, and kind of talk about that in our songs. But we try to at least keep the music still somewhat upbeat and happy whenever possible.
It's dark but happy.
Yeah, because like your new song, that is absolutely brilliant.
We actually support animals. I mean, we're very how do you call it? Animal advocates, and so we write a lot about that, and also about things that are going around the world that are not necessarily good, and discrimination. We stand up for discrimination and inclusion, so we try to write about that too.
Because this new song of yours, it's got to be your best so far, isn't it? It really has.
At least one of them. I hope.
I mean, even the video, it's brilliant. It's a very powerful song. I mean, it comes across, it really gets what you want to say across to the people. It really does. It's brilliant. Who the Hell Are You? That's another awesome song.
That one was a lot of fun to create, actually. That was that's when we kind of started changing the sound a little bit and started experimenting with structuring it a little bit different.
That one came out of nowhere. You just hit me and it was born. Very fast, very out of nowhere, just like that.
Very good as well. And the other one I love is the Judases.
That one I personally really like.
You've had some really, really good tracks, haven't you? How are you going down in your places where you are?
Yes.
Yeah, right now we're in Sweden. Even though we are, I'm half Swedish, half American, but we're from the US.
We're from California.
Oh right, okay.
I'm not. I'm Swedish.
Oh, you're Swedish. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
How do you go down in Sweden then? The audiences like you?
It's kind of a mixed reaction, I would say. We haven't gotten like really strong support. I mean, of course, we have fans and supporters around here, but it seems that like the styles that are the bigger hits here are a little bit different from ours. I mean, kind of joke around about it. Maybe they're not ready for us yet, but it seems that other areas seem to be far more interested in our music, like Germany and the U.S. and South America. And we have people reaching out to us from all over the world, including Sweden, of course. But it seems like those are the areas that have the strongest support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Is it the year after you're hoping to get here for the Dark Malta?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it was 2023 that we might actually be coming.
It's very peaceful as well, which is nice.
We like that combination.
Yeah, that's a good combination to have. It really is.
Not too peaceful, because we have been doing like a few live streams since Corona.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you have no audience, it's like you have to make energy, create energy from nowhere.
That's difficult, isn't it?
It is very difficult, you know, even though we're playing and I'm trying to go from one corner to another and jump around a little bit, still, you know, it's not the same energy. So once I'm done with the live stream shows, I kind of crash because I'm trying to put energy out that from nowhere.
Normally the fans would be fueling that energy.
Exactly. So now it's like from the three of us, and it's not enough.
Yeah, exactly. I can imagine that's not easy.
Yeah, no, it is not.
When are you planning to get back into the gigs?
Yeah, whenever we're allowed to, I would say.
Yeah, is it still quite tight there,
Whoever wants to
lockdown?
book us out there, please contact us.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem right now is that there's so many big bands that have been pushed off.
Yes.
That there's, you know, the people that are supposed to have played in 2020, they're not getting pushed out. So they're kind of the bigger bands are kind of getting the first shots at the live shows. And since there's so much less shows, I think it's going to take a long time for it to kind of fall back into normalcy again.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's been very difficult for you guys, hasn't it?
At the same time, it's also been an opportunity because people have been open to the idea of doing virtual festivals, which I don't think people would have done before.
No, true.
So we've got an opportunity to play for anyone that wants to listen across the world, which is a whole new experience.
Yeah.
But of course, the playing in front of an audience obviously is the best way to do it. Yeah,
for sure. Well, what do you do in your spare time then, guys? And girls, obviously.
What do you do?
Yeah, well, this past year it's been like mostly anything you can do in your apartment. So it's like a lot of music and a lot of video games, I guess.
Renovating the apartment.
Yeah, renovating the apartment as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's not too much you can do at home, is there?
But you've been busy because he's been renovating the whole kitchen and buying everything new and destroying floor and walls and everything.
We've been doing everything ourselves from like top to bottom. So
that's good. That's good.
It's taken quite a few months, but we're starting to get done by now.
Yeah, it's the same here as well. We've been doing this place up, and a lot of it's been ourselves, and it's just something to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an opportunity. It really is. What about music-wise? What do you listen to?
Yeah, most of anything, but for me it's like the metal, different kind of metal, and different kind of synths are like the two main genres at the moment.
Yeah, same for me actually. I've been listening to. There's been some new music being released by some of my favorite bands. A Swedish band actually, Tyrfing, is releasing some interesting stuff, and now I'm forgetting, but there's some other bands I'm waiting for as well. I can't remember right now, but it seems like a lot of bands have kind of gone back and written new material that they're now starting to release.
Yeah.
And then what else do I listen to? I listen to all sorts of things, but mainly metal and different synth, dark music like that. So
Yeah.
Mm.
So I was going to say your style is. I'm not a massive metal fan. I'm more into the goth dark wave synth stuff, but you kind of cross the genres a little bit.
yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah. I mean,
Guilty.
for me, that's metal is my background and my playing style. So that's kind of natural. But I think it's also your writing. You're choosing to incorporate different music genres that you listen to. And
The thing is that I come from a huge mix of music because since I was a little kid, I've been listening to everything that you can imagine, from goth to metal, rock, pop, Latin music, jazz, fusion, a lot of jazz and fusion, a lot of old school music and R&B. Definitely, that's a strong of mine. So it is very rich mix that I have in my heart. So when I go to create, it's very hard to stick to one thing because I have all these things that I like because I grew up listening to everything. And as a musician, it makes it, sometimes it makes it a little bit hard because you kind of like don't know where to go. And you need to like make sure that you stay on the genre that you're creating for in that moment, you know? So a lot of times I think that I end up mixing and taking a little bit from a few styles, you know, that I like. And sometimes I don't even know until the end. I'm like, okay, this sounds like this, but at the same time, it sounds like that. So I think it comes from the whole mix that you hear with the songs in NORMORIA. It definitely comes from that.
But I think that's what makes you kind of unique.
I hope
The sound
so.
is different, isn't it?
Yeah. I hope so.
And that's got to be a benefit to you, surely.
I hope, because a lot of people, a lot of fans, you know, and from other bands, they're used to listen to one thing, and if it doesn't sound like that, they don't like you, you know.
Yeah.
And so some people need a little bit more time to really understand and like our music, because it's not what they're used to, you know. Some of the songs might be, but most of the songs are a mix, you know. So
yeah,
they need to be a little bit more open-minded.
Well, I think that is true. I think they've got to be open-minded. Otherwise, it gets boring, doesn't it? If you're listening to the same thing constant and there's no variation, it's just like you might hear it in another genre of music. You might say, well, they all sound the same.
Yeah,
because that's what they're churning out is the same.
Yeah.
And for me, it's definitely like that. I want to hear new things and variations and mixing different ideas together. And that's what I really like about what we do is that the fact that we're mixing together different aspects and not following the same song structures all the time and trying different things. And
I have to agree with that. From listening to you, you can hear that. You still know it's NORMORIA, but there is that change slightly in each song, and you just know it's you, but there is that variation. So it gives your ears. You don't get bored listening. What's your favorite bands then overall?
Well, for me, my favorite band, I think is NC Ferrum. It's a metal band that plays like folk music metal mixed with what's called Viking metal. They've been one of my favorite bands for a long time because they just done some really spectacular stuff, and they kind of mix ideas a lot as well. But I always like go through phases where I'm listening to different things, so I don't typically have like this is my favorite band. It's more like what I like.
That's good to have a variation in yourselves.
Last year I was listening a lot to Aesthetic Perfection.
Yes, he's very good, isn't he?
I actually got to see him shortly before lockdown, I think it was. He was opening for Lindemann here in Stockholm. That was really great.
Yeah, he came to Dark Malta on the last one that was actually held. And yeah, he was very good. It was a good lineup for that one. That was really good. Lord of the Lost, we had and one. Suicide Commando.
Suicide Commando. They played at a festival that we played here in Sweden back in 2018.
Who was that? Sorry.
Suicide Commando.
Oh, very good, isn't it? Very loud, but good. It's definitely on the louder side. There's not much peace there, is there? What about you two? What's your favourite bands?
I like Suicide Commando a lot.
Yeah.
But one of the bands that I really like is Crooked Shadows.
Really got into them quite a few years ago. They were very good. Very good.
I think that one of the reasons why I like his music is because they tend to mix a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once again, another American band. I think that a lot of the American bands that are in this mixed genre, they're doing not exactly what we're doing, but you can tell when you, for example, you can tell when you listen to his music that he's also mixing a lot of different genres.
Yes.
So I that's probably why I like them so much.
You said that from America. It's true. I think in the old school there was a lot coming out of the UK, but I think the only thing that's coming out of the UK now is the older bands reforming and coming back because there's nothing there to replace them from there. And your favourite group?
Well, I'm sort of a lot like Gustav, where I don't really have a specific band that I have as my favorite. Like, kind of goes in like cycles. But like at the moment, I listen to a lot of Seal & Ardor, speaking of mixing genres, because I don't know if you've heard about them, but
I haven't, no.
It's a mix between black metal and spirituals, which is like the African American slaves when they got Christianity and those kind of songs.
Wow, that's very different.
Yeah,
that was the band that we were watching.
Yeah,
that was actually really spectacular. Actually,
we have mixing of genres, but it works in a strange kind of way.
Yeah, why not? If it works, that's
good. It works.
Yeah, exactly. If it works, it works, and it's good to listen to different styles as well. Otherwise, you get bored. But I think if you said to me, "What's my favourite kind of band?" I don't think I'd be able to give you a definitive answer either. I do, like you said, I jump from band to band or things like that, and I listen to so many different types. It's difficult to pinpoint one. But I have played your latest song over and over again because I do actually really like that one. That really has something special about that one. But even the video, it just all goes so well with it. Very well done on that one, guys. I think one question I have to ask is the mask. Where the idea came from, because that is so unusual.
To be honest, I was just one day I was looking for inspiration for outfits and crowns and things like that. And I came across this French designer, which I don't remember her name right now. I'm sorry. And she happens to had the mask on display, and I saw it and I fell in love with it right away. So yeah, that's how it came.
Wow, it's unique, isn't it? I don't think anybody else has done that.
I don't remember seeing any females at least doing it.
No,
or using
definitely not.
Mask, but I did.
Definitely not. And most use makeup if they do anyway, don't they? They use the makeup instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the mask is definitely different. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I was very happy when I found it, and I got it, and it's here to stay.
Yeah, don't blame you. Don't blame you. It makes it more NORMORIA, doesn't it? Without it, it wouldn't be.
So people get to know a little bit about us.
Oh yeah, that was only me speaking about it.
Yeah, we, I mean, during the pandemic especially, it's kind of the same situation, right? Trying to figure out things at home, but we've also been going for a lot of walks and going into the forest. And one of our hobbies is actually identifying and picking mushrooms. That's actually one of our fall hobbies, I guess. That's something really cool, actually, to be able to learn and find basically food in the forest. That's a very interesting thing. And then I've been doing all the typical things like baking bread and making sourdough bread and all those type of things. The typical pandemic thing, I think.
Isn't the mushroom side dangerous, though?
It can be. That's why whenever we're like picking mushrooms, I always go for something that is basically fail-safe. That's basically impossible to misidentify, and if you do, the worst case is that it tastes bad. But any of the ones that are like easy to mix up with something poisonous, I stay away from.
No, don't blame you, because there are quite a few out there that look very similar. Easy to end up poisoned rather than enjoying them.
Yeah. There's some here in Sweden that even the ones that are easy to identify, if you just don't pay attention and you accidentally pick one, it could basically ruin your liver. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
One roll, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's a bit much, isn't it? It's a bit harsh.
That's not fun.
It's a bad mistake to make.
So you do really have to be careful.
Brilliant, though. You've got a different idea. And yourself, Angel?
Well, during pandemic, I managed to write our latest EP, the one that you like.
Brilliant.
So I took advantage of all that time, and I was like, well, here's the time. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go. We're not supposed to be going anywhere. So I just locked myself in my office and I started writing. And then also got to put together this video. Yeah, the Land of the Rich video, music video. And the Judas' video too. And now I'm working on another video right now, which is for Touch Me. So I've been editing that one and hopefully releasing it by October, I hope.
Wow.
So that's what I did during the pandemic. And I also like to read and listen to all kind of music and go hiking, because we live close to national forest. So that was very nice because there's nobody there, so you just get lost. And so I got to do a lot of that and exercise and things like that.
Brilliant, though.
Not so different from before pandemic, actually. It's just that there were more time than before, so I got to do more.
So what's your creative process? Is it you write the songs and someone else does the music?
She writes like the music, and then it's mostly like me and Gustav just filling in with our instruments to what she has written.
Wow.
That's you usually write the lyrics after the song.
Yeah, most of the time I write them after the song is almost complete, and then we also have a producer working with us. His name is Tobias Erson, and he get to help us with many things. He is the one that always do the sound and the mixing and what else?
Helps us record as well.
Yeah, help us record, helps with the production, and masters the whole thing.
Wow, it's quite a process.
We work really hard together. A lot of different things.
Yes, we're always working on something, and I think that 3 hits is enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Started out with 4 actually,
Yeah.
but couldn't get the 4th person to kind of stick. Had a few different tries at different people, didn't really work out, so we decided to just stick with the 3 of us.
Yeah. Do you get creative differences?
I mean, it happens that we get different, like different ideas and different clashing ideas, but we try to kind of try both to see and compare and listen and maybe take it, take it home and think about it, and next time with a fresh mind, try it again and things like that. Most of the time we kind of find our way where we can agree to what works best for NORMORIA.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, isn't it? I mean,
I think it's only like healthy to have some like differences of opinion. So
yeah, but it's good that you get on with that and you've got ways to work with it.
Yeah, sure.
It's not like some bands that will just argue.
I think it's healthy because, like, for example, sometimes I write something and that is the way that is supposed to, or is going to be, and then suddenly Johan says something and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that sounds better. And then it happens to be a better idea and we just like switch and get rid of the old and adjust to the new thing.
So that's something you don't often find, isn't it? Where the person doing that first initial creativeness wants to admit that someone else has come in with something a little bit works better. Some of them don't like doing that at all, do they?
Yeah, I mean.
So that's good you guys do.
Yeah. Sometimes, you don't like doing that either, but, we try to work out whatever works, sounds the best.
Yeah.
And,
but it's normal, because like when you create something like a particular song that you create yourself, it's like a baby, it's like giving birth. And for you, it's like perfect, because you gave birth to it. So it's your perfect baby. And then somebody comes and tell you, oh, I don't like your baby.
Your
baby has something wrong. You're like, but I made it, So sometimes it's hard, but sometimes it's like, but it does sounds better now that we try it out. So forget about it. Let's just use whatever you said, or whatever idea you have. So if it's going to improve and
sometimes when you add like the bass or the guitar and it just doesn't like fit with the original song, but it sounds awesome, so you like adapt the rest of the song around that instead, and those kind of things happen.
I think one of the things that that actually happens is you tend to write too much different things into the songs, like too many different ideas going together into the song and making the songs being really long and changes and things, which then in the end, a lot of the time we have to kind of strip a lot of that down to make it work with like the guitars and the bass and make it work and simple enough that we can finish it. But I think that it would really hoping that in the future, like with more time and more possibilities, really being able to really incorporate all of that usually starts off the song. Because I think that if we can make all of that work, we make it so much bigger than what it is already. It's just that it's so difficult to work it in and make it all work. That sometimes we just have to, like we said, cut out some things to make everything fit.
Kill your darlings.
Yeah.
That's what you call it.
No, it's good though. It's a good creative process. That is good.
But what do you do during your time in Malta?
Take photographs. Live quite near the beach, so that, well, everywhere in Malta's near the beach. To be fair, it's so small. Take photographs. That's the main part of what I do.
I think your pictures, they're very good.
Thank you. And now I've started this website up and just want to help bands. It's not for anything else, but just I love music. I had absolutely no confidence before, so I just thought I'll try something really out of my comfort zone. So, and this is it.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
So it's good to have people like yourself who've accepted to give someone a go who's just starting out like this and is nervous about doing it. I won't deny that. But, yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You've been so good to us. How can we not?
Well, it's been wonderful talking to you and rather than just messaging all the time. But so what's your plans? Is it still light there or is that just the lights in the building?
It's 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
it's still light here, yeah.
Yeah,
It's still
sun
light.
doesn't- Yeah, sun sets in about 3 hours. Yeah.
No, it's a pitch black here.
It looks like if it was the morning right now or middle of the day.
This idea of the website is definitely no pop. It's all
Yeah.
the alternative scene kind of thing, what everyone else would class as alternative. I think that's the kind that needs a push. It needs a help. And if I can do that in any little way, I will.
That's great, and I think that you're gonna do great because you know a lot of the bands, and we all need all the help we can get.
Yeah, I was surprised how welcoming a lot of bands have been, like yourself. I mean, I approached quite a few who would be willing to do something, but it has been absolutely brilliant talking to you three.
Same here.
Thank
We're
you.
so excited to finally meet you.
Yeah, and you guys as well. And thank you for those things the other day. Thank you for those things the other day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
That was really kind of you. You didn't have to do that. You know, I did it just because I wanted to. But yeah, thank you very much for everything.
Welcome.
You're very welcome.
But thank you so much, all of you. You're absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, if it's night time, have a good night and enjoy yourselves. And thank you so much for the time you spent with me. Thank you.
Have a good one too.
Thank
And
you,
you.
everybody.
Bye. Bye.